The Raiders have a quarterback of the future and the emptiest receiving corps in the NFL. That's a problem. Stefon Diggs is on the street, available, hungry for targets, and the front office is sitting on their hands. And that's not even all of it. The cornerback who could transform this defense is out at OTAs, showing that the riskiest draft pick of 2026 might actually be the smartest one. Two stories, two questions every member of Raider Nation needs to answer today. Buckle up and hit that like button, because today was absolutely wild. Let's get straight to it. The Raiders don't have a wide receiver. Not an overreaction, not doom and gloom. Just the cold, hard truth. In the 2025 season, Trey Tucker was the only receiver on this roster to crack 500 yards. 500. A respectable WR2 does that in half a season. The rest of the group? And then comes today's news. ESPN analysts, including Bill Barnwell, are now openly pushing the Raiders towards Stefon Diggs, who is still sitting in free agency. Barnwell flat out wrote that Las Vegas's receiving corps is incomplete at best and called out GM John Spytek directly for not going after Diggs, a guy who ranked second among all wide receivers by ESPN's receiver score metric last season. Let me put that in perspective for you. Second best in the entire NFL, and this man is unemployed. Insane. Now look, I know the Diggs baggage. Plenty of noise off the field this offseason. But his legal issues are done. Not guilty, case closed. And in his one season with the New England Patriots, a Patriots offense that was an absolute dumpster fire, Diggs caught 85 passes for 1,013 yards and 4 touchdowns. Now imagine him in Klint Kubiak's system with Brock Bowers lined up on the other side. Come on. That's where Fernando Mendoza comes in. The Raiders finally have their franchise quarterback. The kid is turning heads at OTAs. And yeah, he might not be the week 1 starter, but when he does take over, you want real weapons around him. Right now, outside of Brock Bowers, Mendoza's passing options are Jalen Naylor, who they just signed in free agency, and honestly, not much else. I'm not asking Spytek to sign Diggs tomorrow, but the silence from this front office at the receiver position is starting to look like negligence. The Raiders had a shot at Juwan Jennings, a guy who sat in free agency for months before landing in Minnesota. They passed. They had draft capital to address WR and went other directions. And now the window is closing. Here's my take. If the Raiders show up to week 1 without a legitimate wide receiver next to Mendoza, Spytek is going to have a lot of explaining to do to this fan base. Diggs is the most obvious solution left on the market. Yeah, there's a reputation risk, but burning the development year of the most promising young quarterback this team has had in years, that's a way bigger risk. Raider Nation, the ball is in the front office's hands, and the clock is ticking. Now, if that already had your blood pressure up, just wait until you hear what's going on with the boldest pick from our 2026 draft class. The Raiders made the guttiest call of the entire draft when they traded up in the 4th round to grab Jermod McCoy, cornerback out of Tennessee. Gutsy, or straight up crazy, depending on who you ask. Why? Because McCoy is a first-round talent trapped in a body that just went through serious knee surgery. This man did not play a single snap in 2025. 0. And still, all 32 teams blinked for 3 full rounds, and the Raiders went up and took him anyway. But today, head coach Klint Kubiak opened up about McCoy's OTA performance, and what he said should put every nervous fan at ease. He's come in here and worked his tail off, doing everything we've asked him to do. He's gotten out on the practice field and shown the player we saw on tape. That's Klint Kubiak talking. This man does not hand out empty compliments. And he didn't stop there. He talked about the load management plan from trainer Alex Guerrero, monitoring how many yards McCoy runs per day, recovery time, and field surface exposure. They're handling this kid like the asset he truly is. Now, for anyone who isn't familiar with McCoy yet, let me give you the numbers. In 2024 at Tennessee, 4 interceptions, 9 pass deflections, 44 tackles. in a normal college season. He also ran a 4.37 at his pro day. Just under 6'1", 190 pounds, 31-inch arms. That is a prototypical shutdown cornerback build for the modern NFL. The Raiders' plan here is clean and smart. If McCoy needs to sit out all of 2026 to come back fully healthy in 2027, they're completely fine with that. No panic, no rush. What's happening at OTAs right now is pure upside. And apparently, that upside is showing up in a big way. I said it from draft night. McCoy was the most underrated pick in the entire 2026 class. Everyone locked in on Mendoza, and rightfully so. But McCoy in the 4th round could be the steal we're talking about for the next decade. This defense desperately needs a cornerback who can change the game. And if that knee holds up, McCoy is exactly that guy. The only real question is, can you trust the knee? All we have right now are strong words from Kubiak and the fact that McCoy has responded well to the program. For me, right now, that's enough. So here's where we're at, Raider Nation. The front office has been way too quiet at wide receiver, while Mendoza is getting ready to take over. And McCoy is turning heads at OTAs before anyone even knows if he'll suit up in 2026. Two sides of the same coin. A team building something real, but with a massive hole on offense that can't be ignored. So here's the question I'm leaving you with today. If the Raiders roll into Week 1 without signing a single name-brand wide receiver, no Diggs, nobody, do you still trust that Spytech has a plan? Or has he already burned through his credibility with Raider Nation? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one.